Another day and another example of Blake Lively telling on herself. And this time she's telling us about the one time she did not want to rewrite someone else's script.
This is stuff that actors put onto it because Woody is the first person to say, I mean, say this or say what you want. This is bad anyway. You're like, it's so not bad. It's the most beautiful writing I've ever read. It's the only time that I've ever read a script that I've not looked at it and said, how can I put this in my own words to make it more natural? It's like, no, I want his words. I want all of his words and I want to improvise his words. But it gives you that, you know, that trust.
That's from an interview in 2016 when Kristen Stewart and Blake Lively were speaking about working with Woody Allen. It's pretty crazy to me that Blake Lively felt so comfortable and loved working with Harvey Weinstein and Woody Allen. Crazy how they never made her feel uncomfortable knowing what we know about them. But these two made her feel so uncomfortable that she had to file an SH lawsuit against them. And if you guys aren't aware, in 1992, Mia Farrow, who was in a relationship with Woody Allen, alleged that he had SA'd their adoptive daughter, Dylan Farrow, at the age of 7 in their Connecticut home. And as for Harvey Weinstein, over 80 women in the film industry accused him of SA. And this was over a period of 30 years. And he was charged with 11 counts of SA. And she, Blake Lively, was buddy-buddy with these two.
When Hollywood tries to control the narrative, social media fights back. And now, Bryan Freedman, one of the most powerful lawyers in the business, says the truth seekers aren't in the tabloids. They're right here on YouTube, TikTok, and beyond. Freedman, representing Justin Baldoni in his battle against Blake Lively, just gave social media a major shout-out for uncovering what the mainstream press won't touch. But he isn't the only one calling it out. Billy Bush, Popcorn Planet, and Candace Owens are all digging deep. And what they're exposing could change everything. In this video, we're breaking down Freedman's praise for social media sleuths, Billy Bush's hot mic take on Ryan and Blake, Popcorn Planet's shocking receipts on Blake's past, and Candace Owens' latest takedown from today. Stay with me for every angle, because if you care about the truth, this is the video you don't want to miss. And if you love deep dives into Hollywood's real drama, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because here we always break it down unfiltered.
Take a listen.
I have a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Get it? He's just being his funny Deadpool self, guys. So ironic, and it's so funny. He's like mocking the situation. There was this vicious reaction to this. These are just some of the top comments that were on SNL's Instagram posts. They wrote, the top comment here, it was funny until the cringe Ryan Reynolds couple made it awkward. Read the room, get out. Could have done without Ryan and Blake, so exhausting. Missing Ryan Gosling, which is really funny. I didn't know Saturday Night Live approves bullying from Ryan and Blake, and that is kind of one of the, first and foremost, deep ironies of what's going on here, is the fact that Saturday Night Live has made itself almost an enemy, I would say, of half of America, because
this is lightning in a bottle. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And also to do a movie that isn't necessarily a commercial for another movie, that it is a complete experience when you come to see Deadpool and Wolverine. And that was something that we had the full support of this incredible studio. It'd be fun to sit here and say, oh, Disney and Marvel, they just pushed back every step, but they were the best partners, and I chalk that up to really being prepared. We were all extremely prepared. I think we make movies responsibly, and we filter everything through the prism of communication and collaboration, and I think that should always include the people that are writing the check for the movie as well, and they were awesome. I can't believe they let us get away with it.
I don't know, is that the first instinct of a man? If I came home to my husband and said I was sexually harassed, he'd be like, let me put it into a movie script and act it out. Yeah, that would be so great. And I'm gonna bring my A-list homies and I'm gonna keep writing about intimacy coordinators. That would be weird. That's not something that actually a man who serves to protect his family and his wife would do. It wouldn't be their first instinct at all to try to make money off of it and to try to humiliate this person and to keep mocking it. Your whole lawsuit alleges that you struggled with anxiety from this abuse, and yet your husband is free to go mocking it.
Let's start with the moment that has social media buzzing. Bryan Freedman on Billy Bush's show. Freedman, representing Justin Baldoni in his $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively, didn't mince words when it came to who's actually seeking the truth. In the interview, Freedman says, social media has become the real jury. They're asking the questions the press won't. He's not talking about tabloids or industry insiders. He's talking about you, the viewers, the YouTubers, TikTokers, and digital creators who are dissecting every interview, every leak, and every receipt. Freedman sees what's happening. While traditional media hesitates, social media is exposing contradictions, pulling old clips, and putting the pieces together in real time. This isn't just a passing comment. Coming from Freedman, a lawyer known for winning high-profile battles. This is a major acknowledgement that the court of public opinion is just as powerful as a courtroom. And that's exactly why Hollywood is scared, because they can't control the narrative when millions of people are holding them accountable. We're all searching for the truth, and let's be honest, if your past is marked by a pattern of bad behavior, doesn't that say something about who you are today?
Where Blake Lively completely exposes herself and just says it out loud with no qualms. This is what I do. The whole thing Justin's put out in his documents, she just admitted. And you even said it before we play this clip, Kim. You know, there's no way his lawyers had this, because wouldn't this be in the documents? This is exactly what they're accusing her of.
Yeah, this would be in the complaint. I truly believe that in my heart, because it's absolutely crazy as you listen to this. She really does just kind of line out what her method is. And there's just a lack of self-awareness here that is just, it's insane. It's actually insane to watch. And I'm very surprised that she felt comfortable enough to say all of this out loud. And I don't feel like it's taking things out of context. I don't feel like it's manipulating her to look a certain way. This is her talking. This is her interview where she is being honored.
And then there are other moments to go like, am I the asshole in the room? Like, what is happening here? I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that like that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull, because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do. And so it was like, it was a really strange position to be in, because I felt like I don't want to just like be an actor. Like I want to, you know, I want to have more authorship. It's just as
In that shocking clip, Blake opened admits to something that now sounds damning in light of the Baldoni lawsuit. Bryan Freedman will for sure use this as Exhibit A. She says she often hides her real ambitions during auditions, presenting herself as just an actress to get hired. But once she's in, she pushes for full creative control, writing input, costume design, even character direction. She even acknowledges that directors often feel rug pulled because they hired her for one thing and she delivered something else entirely. Popcorn Planet's Andy Signore doesn't hold back. Blake admitted it. She lies to directors and takes over movies. That's exactly what Baldoni says happened. The question is, what happens to the people she steamrolls along the way? It's one thing to seek creative influence, but what about those whose careers were collateral damage? On It Ends With Us, Blake fired the original music editor and video editors, replacing them with Ryan Reynolds' team. Decisions that weren't about quality, but about control. What's more disturbing is the cold efficiency of how it was done. These weren't minor changes. These were power shifts, deliberate moves to erase the influence of those who stood in her way. And this is why Bryan Freedman praised social media. It wasn't a journalist at Variety who dug into Blake's own words and connected them to her actions. It was independent digital investigators who unearthed the receipts, analyzed the patterns, and exposed the brutality of her ambition.
So in addition to the 42 spelling and grammatical errors that I thought were completely unacceptable, I also found something that made me laugh on page 4, which is Lively's legal team thought this was a gotcha, where they quote Baldoni's legal team, saying that they confess that Lively is the kind of person who genuinely believes she's right and that all of this is unjust. I find that very strange because I don't think anyone believes that Blake Lively goes home at night saying, Mwahaha. I'm gonna fabricate sexual harassment stories so I can take over the movie. Mwahaha. And then her and Ryan Reynolds are like evil laughing into a crystal ball, like a Disney movie. Or maybe they are that crazy. I've never met them. But most shitty people, most narcissists believe that they're right. That's what makes them narcissists, is the lack of self-awareness. So,
but you've seen social media and these TikTokers and people on YouTube. They're amazing. They're brilliant.
Yeah, Candace Owens. Candace Owens has been on this like you wouldn't believe. She's a tigress. And the Steph with the deets on TikTok. I mean, there's so many people that are fascinated here, but they're justice warriors. You know what I mean? They see an injustice.
The real play wasn't just taking over It Ends With Us, it was about controlling Colleen Hoover's entire book-to-movie pipeline. Insiders claim Blake used the harassment allegations against Baldoni to pressure Colleen Hoover to cancel his rights and sell the contract directly to her. And Hoover had the perfect legal out, a morality clause baked into her contract, which allowed her to sever ties with Baldoni the moment controversy surfaced. With that clause in hand, Blake didn't just push Baldoni out, she positioned herself as the only viable option. And why would Hoover agree? Because Blake isn't just an actress, she's a brand. And if you're an author with multiple bestsellers primed for adaptation, attaching your franchise to an A-lister with a production credit can be far more lucrative than sticking with a lesser-known director. This isn't authorship, it's manipulation. Blake didn't just steal a role, she stole a franchise. It's a brutal take, but it's one that social media is now digging into. And it's exactly why Bryan Freedman sees digital creators as the real investigators.
As they just can't stop mocking it. And the reality is, if you want to know the answer to the question of why is Ryan able to just keep mocking it, because what's actually funny to him is not the sexual harassment. What's funny to him is that he found a tool to be able to stage a hostile takeover of a business. And they were high. They were totally high on their own supply of power. They were enjoying it. They were enjoying humiliating Justin Baldoni. Like I said, they got so close to winning this. They were so close to the end of their evil plot, unabashed plot, to put him in the basement just for like an extra sprinkle of terror. Like we just are so high on our own supply. We're telling people to fire him. We're calling him a rapist, allegedly, according to the documents filed. Like he said this WME. We're using our dragon to talking about Khaleesi. And really this was because we now have so much power that we can stage a hostile takeover of business and nobody can touch us, okay? And the public doesn't like that. They don't like it at all. They see right through it. And I would say another reason that the public didn't respond well to this was because we have already accurately deduced that the both of you are raging narcissists. This might be the first Me Too movement that is being guided by another male, being Ryan Reynolds. There's no putting this genie back in the bottle until you fully say, I was wrong, I apologize. He is none of those things. And then we can start speaking about settlements until you have the humility, which I don't think they do, until you have the humility to admit what you did. I think Bryan Freedman has to keep fighting.
So, why is Bryan Freedman, one of Hollywood's most powerful lawyers, praising social media truth seekers? Simple, because the mainstream press isn't doing the work. While outlets like People and Deadline stick to sanitized headlines, YouTubers are doing the heavy lifting, digging up old interviews, analyzing timelines, and exposing contradictions. Popcorn Planet unearthed the interview that undercuts Blake's defense. Candace Owens connected the dots on Ryan Reynolds' SNL narcissism. And countless TikTok creators are dissecting legal filings and leaked texts, frame by frame. Freedman knows that public perception shapes reality, and instead of relying on industry trades, he's placing his trust in digital creators. Because social media isn't afraid to challenge the official narrative. Now, it's your turn. With everything out in the open, the hot mic moments, the resurfaced interviews, and the accusations of franchise theft, where do you stand? Is Blake a visionary fighting for creative control, or a master manipulator who played the victim while pushing Justin Baldoni out of his own project? Is Baldoni a victim of a Hollywood power grab, or just bitter that Blake outplayed him? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team Blake? Team Justin? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more updates.